He's finding his way with the Nets. He led the team in a bounce-back win against the Spurs last night in such a big way. Harden not only had the game-sealing three in overtime, but also made history along the way. Harden became the first player to record a 30-point, 15-assist, 10-rebound triple-double with 0 turnovers. And after the game, Kyrie told reporters to, quote, get used to it when it came to Harden's play. Shannon, I'm curious how you feel about this as James Harden entered the MVP race.
Well, he should. I don't know how, like the voters, Chris was explaining it, how are they going to look at what he did in Houston? Are they going to hold that against him because he literally quit on them and forced his way into Brooklyn? But since he's got to Brooklyn, he's 25, 11, and 9. Since he got there, they're 16 and 6 in the 22 games in which he's played. And Skip, what he's doing, it looks to me, because he has, Kyrie has been mainly there, Kevin Durant, they haven't played a whole lot together. But because he has help now, he's not taking as many bad shots as he took. I mean, his shots now 17 a game this year, 22 the previous year. He's shooting a career high since he got to Brooklyn in three-point. And a lot of the things that he was taking, he's like, well, I got to do this. Well, now he realized I don't need to score 40 every night in order for us to win. And for him to sacrifice his game, Skip, there have been very few guys that's been able to. He sacrificed his game. What we see from James Harden in Brooklyn is not what we saw from James Harden in Houston. So he sacrificed his game. He says, you know what, guys? You want me to be more of a facilitator? I can do that. No problem whatsoever. I can still get buckets. Y'all know I can drop 30, 40 if I need it, but that's not what you need. If you need it, just know it's over here. Kyrie, you having an off night? You need your boy? I got you. KD gonna be out for some time? I can take it over. Skip, yeah, he's in the MVP conversation, and deservedly so, because his ability to pass the ball, Skip, we know he'll score. He's an elite scorer. There haven't been better. They might not have been better 5 scores, especially at the guards. Skip, I'm taking centers out of the equation. I take Wilt, Kareem, things like that. I'm talking about for backcourt. It's hard to say there have been very many backcourt players. Maybe Jordan, Kobe, but they were different than James. James makes it look so effortless. I mean, you look up, you're like, hold on. He got 30 with 12 assists, 9 rebounds. Hold on, we're in the third quarter. How'd he do that? I mean, and so that is Kevin. He's like, he's a silent killer. You look at the stat sheet at the end of the night and you realize, hold on, this man had this many points, this many rebounds, this many assists, a triple-double, and he didn't turn the ball over at all? As much as he had the ball in his hands, not one turnover. You couldn't force one turnover? Skip, he's special. He deserves to be in the MVP conversation. I don't know how much voters will hold what happened early in the season against him, but he definitely deserves to be in the conversation.
They probably will hold it detrimentally against him. I don't think he has a chance to win because he quit his way out of Houston. But, Shannon, if we just go in a vacuum in the time he's been in New Jersey,
oh, yeah.
You want to talk about special? You want to talk about every night I just sit back and I'm in awe of the artistry. We just talked about one freak of basketball nature, Zion Williamson, and the other one who's beyond Zion is James Harden. Just the basketball genius. Now he's thinking of himself as the orchestrator who scores as an afterthought. But to your point, he still averages 25 points a game and 9 rebounds that are close to being 10. And 11 assists, which is running away with the lead that LeBron obviously won the assist championship last year, but James is running away with the assists this year with 11 a game. Well, since he's been in New Jersey, they just keep creeping up, and now they're only a half game back of the Sixers for the top spot in the East. And remember, James has only played with Kevin Durant, the man I consider the best player on the planet. He's only played 9 of his 22 his Brooklyn games with James.
Brooklyn.
Only 9 of 22 with KD and James together. Out of, the 22 games are all special to me because every night he's close. He's had 7 triple-doubles, and he's leading the league in minutes played. So we laughed about how fat he looked coming out of Houston because he was trying to quit his way out. And he just immediately transformed himself into a guy who can lead the league in Brooklyn in minutes played. Well, that's impossibly great. And I keep making the case, as much as you don't like them on defense, he can be their best defensive player, because this is a man who just a year ago in Houston was 3rd in loose balls recovered and 6th in deflections. And just 2 years ago in Houston, he was 2nd in the league in steals. Every night I watch him on defense, he disrupts a lot. He plays passing lanes. He gets his hand on balls. He steals the ball. He just is a nuisance on defense because his genius manifests itself in being able to anticipate where the ball is going to be passed or how it's going to come off the glass in rebounding, because he's almost double digits in rebounds at 6 feet 5 inches tall and not a great leaper. And I just think if they pass the Sixers and get to the top spot in the East, I think he's going to take over the lead in MVP in my book. I don't think it'll be in most voters' books because he'll be disqualified by what happened in Houston. But even last night, Shannon, again, I love the Spurs, what's left of them, and I root for them, and I'm rooting for them in the fourth quarter. And James was just too great because he scored 15 in the fourth quarter, and he just would not be denied. And then, if we could see it, he hit the dagger in the game. And when he can hit daggers like this, he made a step back from about 28 feet. This is the end of the game. Look at this. I mean, if you can do that, I know it went around and around and fell straight down through, but if you can do that and lead the league in assists, you're unstoppable. I mean, because he's got the best floater in the game in the lane, and he can get to the rim like nobody can. And I don't know what's not to love about his all-around game, because he's as dominant an offensive player as we have in the whole game right now, and that includes your man LeBron. I don't see anything like James Harden's genius on offense.
Skip, if you like offense, it's hard not to like James Harden. And if you look at his clip, they cleared the side out and say, you do what you want to do. If you want to shoot the step back, you can. We've spaced the floor to give you an opportunity to get to the rim. You see the guy was basically trying to hand check him, and James Harden slapped his hand off, say, you know what? You think I'm going to go by you, but I'm going to pull up from 28 and drop this 3 and end this ball game, basically for all intents and purposes. Skip, he has offensively, he has no weakness in his game because, like you said, he can shoot the 3. He can shoot a step back 3. Now, the thing is, Skip, it's either a layup or a step back or a floater. I haven't seen James Harden shoot a mid-range shot in probably, 2-3 years?
No.
So it's either 3 or something going to the basket or at the basket. He's shooting free throws. But offensively, Skip, he's as good. Go ahead.
Shannon, he's ground bound. He's not a leaper at all because he doesn't have a jump shot. You know, like Bradley Beal is one of the great jump shooters this league has ever seen. He's a jump shooter. He has mid-range jump where he goes up to the apex, holds it, and releases it. Well, James is all feet on the floor. It's step-back set shots. They're all set shots or floaters or at the rim. And he can just out-quick you. He has like underrated, it's almost like effortless quickness to get by bigs to lay it up off the glass. But he's rarely going to dunk on you. He can dunk, obviously, but there's nothing above the rim about his game, yet he's the most dominant offensive player all around that we have in the game, and his feet are on the floor all the time. Wow.
No question about it. Skip, I've never seen anything like James Harden because they were showing clips of him the other night. Skip, I've never seen a guy that can jump off either foot and lay the ball up like he can. Now, most guys, if you're right-handed, you jump off your right foot. I mean, your left foot. And most guys, if you're left-handed, you jump off your right foot. But James Harden can jump off either foot and lay the ball up off the glass, or he can use that floater. I've never seen anything like this before. He's, Steph Curry revolutionized the game of 3. But what James Harden has been able to do from the 3 and in, Skip, I don't know, we might not see that again because, we say Luka, a game kind of reminds you of that. But Harden, the slitheriness of which he can get to the finesse his way to the basket, that step back 3, Skip, and now he can shoot a running 3. I mean, how do you stop that? But it's a great luxury to have when you can take a guy that's won an MVP. He's won 2 finals MVP. We can sit him down for a month, and then you got another guy that's been an MVP, that's led the league in scoring 3 times, that's led the league in assists. It says, okay, well, you filling in for him. Boy, that's a hell of a fill-in, Skip. Nobody else has that luxury. And Anthony Davis goes out, The Lakers don't have somebody that can replace Anthony Davis.
No.
You know what? Ben Simmons goes out. Philly doesn't have anybody that can replace Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid.
So,
they got James Harden. The guy's had a 60-point triple-double, so you know he's special.
Bottom line to this discussion, Kyrie Irving, as big an ego as he has, he actually comes across to me as in awe of James' ability. As Kyrie said after the game last night, just get used to it. Don't keep asking me about him. Just get used to it, because that's who he is every night. And yet, this team is so loaded. When Durant comes back after the All-Star break, which I assume he will with his hamstring problem, there's only one team that's going to be able to stop the Nets to me, and that's themselves. Because I don't know if Kyrie will stay happy all year. I don't know if he and James will clash at some point. So far, so great. Will KD be able to find a place in this? Because KD is not ball dominant. I think he will.
No.
But to me, the only team that'll be able to stop the Nets is the Nets.
Yeah, because, Skip, they can get whatever they want. Because you have three guys, really, that can go one-on-one and require you to come double. So when you come double,